Every morning you face a choice. Stay wrapped in the warmth of your bed, holding on to your dreams, or rise and begin chasing them. Think about it. Each day begins with this silent decision. It may seem small, but it shapes everything that follows. Do you press snooze and let time slip? Or do you rise with purpose, ready to own your day, your goals, and your life? Most people struggle to wake up early because they don't realize what they're losing. They convince themselves that 5 more minutes won't matter, but 5 turns into 10, then 20, and soon the morning is gone. They rush, already behind before the day has even begun. That isn't just a habit, it's a mindset. A mindset of delay, of choosing comfort over growth. Left unchecked, it traps them in the same cycle day after day. Let's be clear, waking up early isn't easy. The blanket feels soft, the pillow calls, and sleep pulls at you. But here's the truth. Those who achieve real success don't make choices based on comfort. They choose long-term growth over temporary ease. They wake up early not because it feels good, but because it gives them an edge. They've discovered a secret. Early mornings are a weapon. They bring clarity, focus, and intention. At that hour, the world is still, distractions are silent, and your mind is fresh. You're free to think, to create, to move forward without resistance. Today, I want to show you how this single habit, waking up early, can transform your life. We'll talk about how to make it easier, how to shift your mindset, and how to turn mornings into a powerful tool for success. But before strategies, understand this. Mornings are more than extra time. They are sacred. When the world sleeps, the silence clears your mind and sharpens your focus. No emails, no calls, no demands. Just you, fully present, fully in control. Many people resent mornings. They groan at the alarm, stumble through their routine, and miss the hours that could give them the most. But what if you saw those hours as a gift? A head start. Imagine beginning your day with peace and intention instead of chaos and rush. Most people wake up late, grab their phone, flood their mind with noise, and scramble through stress. Compare that to the person who wakes early, who stretches, hydrates, reflects, and sets intentions before the sun rises. Who do you think is better prepared to win the day? The difference is undeniable. Waking early doesn't just add hours. It gives you control. It puts you in the driver's seat. Instead of being pulled in every direction, you start with purpose, and that energy carries through the day. The clarity of early hours is unmatched. Is when your mind is open, undisturbed, and ready to solve, create, and dream. That's why so many successful people swear by it. It's not only about productivity, it's about accessing yourself, your focus, your vision. When you use mornings with purpose, your days become sharper, more intentional, more meaningful. You stop reacting to life and start leading it. If you've never felt the magic of mornings, you're missing one of life's greatest advantages. Try it for a week. Wake before the noise. Step outside into fresh, cool air. Listen to the silence. Breathe deeply. Once you feel that clarity and control, you won't want to go back. But remember, waking early is only the beginning. What you do with that time matters most. Too many waste it scrolling or drifting. But mornings are a gift, a clear runway to prepare your body, your mind, and your spirit. That's why the most successful people rise with purpose. They have rituals and structures that ground them and sharpen their focus. So how do you use mornings effectively? It comes down to 3 pillars. Move your body, feed your mind, and plan your day. Your body needs activation, stretch, walk, exercise. Your mind needs nourishment, read, write, reflect. And your day needs intention. Set the priorities that matter most. This 3-part system doesn't need hours. Even 30 minutes can transform your day. What matters most is consistency. Over time, these small habits compound into clarity, discipline, and control. Tomorrow, when your alarm rings, treat your morning as the launch pad it is. Because if you use it well, it will take you further than you ever imagined. Waking up early isn't just about leaving your bed. It's a declaration, a statement that says, I own my time. I own my life. Snoozing is easy. Postponing is easier. But waiting for the perfect moment to start will keep you waiting forever. The only moment you have is now. If you want to build something meaningful, a career, a dream, a better version of yourself, you need to train your mind to act, not to excuse. The difference between early risers and everyone else isn't sleep, it's perspective. Early risers don't see mornings as a burden, they see them as an opportunity, a sacred space before the world makes demands. Waking early isn't about losing rest, it's about gaining clarity and control. Look at history's greats. They didn't wait for conditions to be perfect. They built systems, embraced discipline, and treated their mornings with reverence. Steve Jobs would look in the mirror every morning and ask, if today were my last, would I be happy with what I'm about to do? That one question shaped his choices. That's what mornings offer, a chance to realign before the day pulls you off course. But make no mistake, your mind will resist. It will whisper, the bed is warm. 5 more minutes won't hurt, maybe next week. And most people lose right there. They wait for motivation. But motivation is temporary. Discipline is lasting. Jocko Willink, the Navy SEAL, wakes up at 4:30 every single day, not because it's fun, but because it gives him the edge. While the world sleeps, he's already won the first battle. That's what the early riser's mindset is, doing what most people won't, so you can live the life most never will. Discipline doesn't appear overnight. It's built with small victories, and it starts with the moment your alarm rings. That tiny choice, snooze or rise, decides whether your discipline grows stronger or weaker. That's why elite performers value mornings so highly. They know the way you begin your day shapes everything that follows. And don't think mornings are only about productivity. They are also about solitude, about carving out time for yourself before the world interrupts. Maya Angelou used her mornings for stillness, writing in solitude before the day could intrude. That silence wasn't a preference. It was the soil for her creativity. Your morning can be the same, a space where your thoughts grow, your goals take root, and your future begins to take shape. So ask yourself, what kind of life are you building? Are you stuck, hitting snooze, rushing through mornings and stumbling through days? Or do you want to rise with intention, own your mornings, and take charge of your life? The good news, no one is born a morning person. It's not a personality trait. It's a habit, a decision, a training process. And it begins tomorrow. When your alarm rings, you'll face the choice, comfort or discipline. If you rise, even when everything tells you not to, something shifts inside. Mornings stop feeling like a burden. They start feeling like a privilege. That's when you stop just talking about goals and start building them. Talking about early mornings sounds inspiring, but the real test comes when the alarm goes off before sunrise. The bed feels warm, your body feels heavy, and your mind whispers, just 5 more minutes. But those 5 minutes quickly become 30, and your morning slips away. That's the moment where comfort and commitment collide. Because waking up early isn't just about an alarm. It's about reshaping your nights, your habits, and your mindset. For 40 years, one of the biggest myths is I'm not a morning person. That's not fact. It's an excuse. Nobody is born an early riser. It's not a trait. It's training. If you've been waking up late for years, your body is conditioned to it. But any routine can be rewired. Look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He trains at 4 a.m. daily. Do you think he always feels like it? No. But he's trained himself to move past excuses because he knows what he's working toward. That's the difference. Ordinary people wait until they feel ready. Early risers move regardless. Another common obstacle is staying up late. People want to wake up early but sabotage themselves by scrolling, binge watching, or wasting nights. You can't have it both ways. If you want early mornings, you must respect your evenings. Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, rises at 3:45 IE but he sustains it because he goes to bed early. Sleep isn't optional, it's a performance tool. Many burn out thinking sleep is a luxury. In reality, lack of sleep kills productivity, focus, and clarity. If you're serious about becoming an early riser, you must build a nighttime routine. Set a consistent bedtime, dim lights, ditch screens, and let your body know it's time to rest. Then there's the heavy sluggishness right after waking. Many mistake it for needing more sleep, but it's actually called sleep inertia, a normal effect that even disciplined early risers feel. The difference? They don't let it stop them. The cure is movement. The moment your alarm rings, sit up. Put your feet on the floor, breathe deeply, drink water, stretch, or take a cold shower. These small actions signal your brain, we're awake, and momentum takes over. One simple trick makes a huge difference. Put your alarm across the room. If it's by your bed, you'll hit snooze without thinking. But if you must get up to turn it off, you've already taken the first step, and that step sets the tone for the rest of the day. But here's what most overlook. Without a reason to wake up, your brain won't care. If mornings are only about obligations, work, school, traffic, you'll resist. But if your mornings are filled with meaning, your brain finds motivation. Richard Branson wakes up at 5 a.m., not to dive straight into business, but to do what energizes him. Exercise, family, activities he loves. That's the secret. When mornings give you something to look forward to, waking up stops feeling like punishment. It feels like privilege. The biggest challenge? People give up too soon. They try for a few days, struggle, and quit. But early rising, like any meaningful habit, takes time. Discipline doesn't appear overnight. It's forged in small wins, one morning at a time. Every day you rise when your mind tells you not to, you strengthen something powerful inside. Momentum, self-respect, and proof that you control your habits, not the other way around. Becoming an early riser doesn't happen in one giant leap. It's built step by step. The biggest mistake people make is trying to go from waking at 8 a.m. to suddenly forcing themselves up at 5 a.m. overnight. That kind of drastic shift almost always ends in failure. The smarter approach is gradual. Start by waking 15-30 minutes earlier each week. Small adjustments are sustainable. They give your body and mind time to adapt until early mornings feel natural rather than forced. And here's what changes everything: accountability. Discipline is powerful, but it grows stronger when you don't carry the load alone. If self-control is tough for you, build layers of accountability. Tell a friend or family member about your goal. Set up a simple morning check-in where you send proof you're up. Use a habit tracking app to measure your progress. These systems create pressure in the right direction. On days when your willpower feels weak, accountability keeps you moving forward. The truth is, waking up early isn't just about time. It's about control. It's about proving to yourself day after day that you're in charge of your actions, your habits, and your life. The real battle with the alarm clock is won the night before. Through your decisions about bedtime, your evening routine, and the mindset you carry into sleep. So be honest with yourself. What's truly holding you back? Are you really not a morning person, or have you simply never trained yourself to be one? Are your struggles external, or are they excuses you've accepted for too long? The good news: you can change. You can train yourself to rise early, claim your mornings, and start your day with direction. This is where the ripple effect comes in. One small choice in the morning leads to another and another, Before long, your entire day is shaped by that momentum. Picture two people waking up at the same time. One grabs their phone, scrolls mindlessly for 20 minutes, then scrambles to get ready. Already stressed, already behind. The other wakes with intention, stretches, drinks water, and takes a few quiet minutes to set goals. Who do you think enters the day with more control? That's the ripple effect. A strong start cascades into focus, energy, and accomplishment. A weak start drags everything down into distraction, stress, and wasted time. The smallest decisions, whether you get up immediately, whether you exercise, whether you set priorities, compound into massive differences over weeks and months. Take Margaret Thatcher, the former UK Prime Minister. She was known to rise at 5 a.m. to read, reflect, and prepare. That extra time gave her clarity to handle high-stakes decisions with confidence. Her mornings weren't just early, they were purposeful. And that purpose rippled through every action she took. Even the tiniest habits matter. Consider something as simple as making your bed. It might feel trivial, but Admiral William H. McRaven famously said, "If you want to change the world, start by making your bed." Why? Because one small victory at the start of the day creates momentum. It sets a tone of accomplishment. One task completed leads to another, and before long, progress defines your day. It's not about the bed, it's about the discipline. The same principle applies to movement. Begin your day with physical activity, stretching, walking, or a quick workout. It boosts your energy, clears your mind, and builds resilience. Haruki Murakami, one of the world's most celebrated authors, makes running part of his morning ritual. He believes it sharpens his creativity and allows him to write with flow and clarity. That's the ripple effect at work. When your body feels strong, your mind follows. And don't overlook mental input. If you start your day with negativity, complaints, or endless scrolling, you prime your brain for distraction and stress. But if you begin with gratitude, reflection, or inspiring reading, you set yourself up for clarity and focus. What you choose to feed your mind each morning shapes the energy you carry into your work, relationships, and goals. In the end, your morning is your launch pad. How you launch determines how high you'll fly. One intentional choice builds the next, and over time, those ripples turn into waves of lasting transformation. That's why the world's most successful people guard their mornings fiercely. They know the smallest wins there can create the greatest victories later. Waking up early sounds inspiring when you talk about it, but when the alarm goes off before sunrise, that's where the real battle begins. The bed feels warm, your body feels heavy, and your mind whispers, just 5 more minutes. Before you know it, 5 turns into 30, and your entire morning routine is gone. This is the critical moment where comfort and commitment collide, because becoming an early riser isn't only about setting an alarm, it's about reshaping your nights, your mindset, and your habits. One of the biggest myths people believe is I'm just not a morning person. But that's not reality, it's an excuse. No one is born a morning person. It's not a personality trait, it's a training process. If you've been waking up late for years, your body has simply grown used to it. But just like any habit, you can rewire it. Look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He wakes up at 4 a.m. every single day to train. You think he wants to do it every time? No. But he's conditioned himself to move past excuses because he knows what he's working toward. That's the mindset difference. Ordinary people wait to feel ready. Early risers don't wait, they act. Another hidden obstacle is staying up too late. Many people want to rise early, but sabotage themselves by scrolling endlessly, binge watching shows, or delaying sleep. The truth is, you can't have it both ways. If you want to wake early, you must respect your nights. Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, wakes up at 3:45 a.m. regularly. Not because of magic willpower, but because he goes to bed early and guards his rest. He knows sleep isn't optional, it's fuel for performance. Yet most people treat sleep like a luxury, not realizing that neglecting it destroys productivity, focus, and creativity. If you're serious about becoming an early riser, you must build a strong nighttime routine. Set a consistent bedtime, cut off screens, dim the lights, and give your body clear signals that it's time to recharge. Then there's the issue of grogginess. That heavy, sluggish feeling when you first wake is called sleep inertia. Even disciplined early risers feel it. The difference? They don't let it keep them down. The simplest cure is immediate movement. The second your alarm rings, sit up, put your feet on the floor, breathe deeply, drink water, stretch, or take a cold shower. These tiny actions tell your brain, we're awake. That momentum can carry you forward before excuses take hold. Here's a small change that makes a massive difference. Put your alarm across the room. If it's right by your bed, you'll hit snooze without thinking. But if you have to stand up and walk to turn it off, you've already taken the first step. That step breaks the cycle of delay. But perhaps the most overlooked problem is this. Many people have no reason to wake up early. If your mornings are only filled with obligations, commute, tasks, responsibilities, your brain won't fight for them. That's why it's crucial to create a reason worth rising for. Richard Branson wakes at 5 a.m. daily, but not to dive straight into business. He begins with what energizes him: exercise, family, or activities he enjoys. That makes morning something to look forward to, not something to endure. If you're struggling, schedule something meaningful right at the start of your day. Reading, journaling, a personal project, or simply enjoying coffee in peace. Don't just wake up for duties, wake up for yourself. And here's the biggest trap. People give up too soon. They try for a few days, hit resistance, and quit. But like any meaningful change, becoming an early riser takes patience. Discipline is built in layers, one morning at a time. Every time you rise, when your mind tells you to stay down, you prove something to yourself, that you are stronger than excuses. Slowly, mornings stop feeling like punishment. They start feeling like privilege. That's the shift. Early mornings are no longer something you have to survive. They become something you choose to claim. And in claiming them, you claim control, not just over your morning, but over your entire life. Many people try waking up early for a few days, struggle with it, and then quit. But becoming an early riser isn't something that happens overnight. It's a habit. And like every meaningful habit, it requires time, patience, and consistency. You can't expect your body to instantly adjust to waking 3 hours earlier. The smarter approach is gradual. Instead of jumping from 8 a.m. to 5 a.m. all at once, start small. Wake just 15-30 minutes earlier each week. These gentle adjustments are easier to sustain and give your mind and body time to adapt. Before long, you'll find yourself waking early naturally, without the shock or burnout. Another powerful tool is accountability. If discipline feels difficult, don't try to do it all on your own. Build a system that holds you to your commitment. Tell a friend or family member about your goal. Set up a quick morning check-in where you prove you're awake. Use a habit tracker or calendar to mark your progress. The more layers of accountability you create, the harder it becomes to break the promise you made to yourself. On tough mornings when your willpower is weak, accountability keeps you moving forward. But remember this, waking up early isn't just about gaining extra hours. It's about gaining control. Each morning you rise, you prove to yourself that you own your actions, your habits, and ultimately your life. The real battle with the alarm clock isn't fought in the morning, it's won the night before. It's won through the choices you make about sleep, about screens, about whether you prepare for the next day or procrastinate. So ask yourself honestly, what's really stopping you? Are you truly not a morning person? Or have you just never trained yourself to become one? Are your obstacles external? Or are they excuses you've accepted for too long? The truth is, you can change. You can decide to take back your mornings, to stop reacting and start leading, to build discipline brick by brick until it becomes your nature. Tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings, you'll face that choice again. Comfort or discipline. If you rise, even when you don't feel like it, you'll strengthen your resolve. You'll show yourself that you can lead your life instead of being led by it. Over time, that choice creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence builds consistency, and consistency changes everything. The way you begin your morning sets the tone for your entire day. A strong, intentional start creates momentum, and momentum fuels progress. A weak, scattered start leads to stress, wasted energy, and lost time. This is what's called the ripple effect. One small choice at the start of the day spills into every decision that follows. Picture two people waking at the same time. One grabs their phone immediately, scrolls aimlessly for 20 minutes, then rushes to get ready, already behind before the day even begins. The other wakes with intention, stretches, drinks water, takes a few quiet minutes to breathe, reflect, and set priorities. Who do you think carries more control, more clarity, more energy into the hours ahead? That's the ripple effect at work. A powerful start creates a chain reaction of focus and accomplishment. A weak start creates a spiral of distraction and overwhelm. The smallest choices, whether you hit snooze or rise, whether you move your body or stay still, whether you set goals or dive straight into chaos, decide whether your day is built on progress or wasted in reaction. And over time, those daily ripples turn into the current of your entire life. History offers countless examples. Margaret Thatcher, the former Prime Minister of the UK, was known for rising at 5 a.m. to read, reflect, and prepare. That quiet time gave her clarity and composure to make high-stakes decisions with confidence. Her mornings weren't just early, they were purposeful. And that purpose rippled into every choice she made throughout the day. Even something as small as making your bed can spark the ripple. Admiral William H. McRaven, in his famous speech, said, "If you want to change the world, start by making your bed." It may sound trivial, but it's not about the bed. It's about what it represents. A small win first thing in the morning sets a tone of accomplishment. One completed task leads to another, and soon your day is defined by progress rather than chaos. The same applies to movement. When you begin your morning with physical activity, whether it's stretching, running, or a quick workout, you send a signal of energy and discipline to your body and mind. That energy carries forward into sharper focus, stronger resilience, and greater productivity. Haruki Murakami, one of the world's most celebrated authors, includes running as part of his daily morning ritual. He believes it clears his mind, strengthens his creativity, and allows him to write with flow. His mornings weren't just about exercise. They were about fueling his craft with clarity. And don't underestimate mental input. What you feed your mind first thing in the morning shapes the lens through which you see your day. If you start with negativity, doom scrolling, complaints, bad news, you prime your brain for stress and distraction. But if you begin with gratitude, reflection, uplifting reading, or inspiring ideas, you set yourself up for calm and focus. That choice defines the energy you carry into your work, your relationships, and your goals. In the end, your morning is your launch pad. How you launch determines how far you'll fly. One intentional choice creates momentum for another and another until the ripple becomes a wave that can transform your entire life. That's why the world's most successful people protect their mornings so fiercely. They know that success doesn't begin at midday. It begins in the first few minutes after you wake. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's not just luck, talent, or chance. It's built slowly through consistent habits, practiced with discipline and purpose. And if you study the lives of the most accomplished people across history, you'll notice one thing they almost all share: a structured morning ritual. Their routines aren't rude. Take Benjamin Franklin, one of history's sharpest minds. Every morning, he began by asking himself a simple but powerful question. Same pattern appears everywhere. CEOs, athletes, artists, and leaders. Across every field, those at the highest level protect their mornings. They use them to prepare physically, mentally, and emotionally before facing the chaos of the world. They don't leave their morning. One of the most consistent habits: rising with purpose. High performers don't hit snooze. They don't delay the start of their day. The moment the alarm rings, they rise. That single act sets a powerful tone. I act, I don't wait. That energy ripples into every other choice. Howard Schultz, former CEO of Starbucks, began his mornings at 4:30 a.m. with a strict routine: exercise, reflection, and coffee, paired with reviewing his goals. That structure gave him clarity and control long before he stepped into the demanding world of business. Another cornerstone is movement. The best know that energy drives everything. If your body is stagnant, your thoughts will be too. That's why Barack Obama, even during the busiest years of his presidency, prioritized exercise every morning. He understood that caring for his body sharpened his focus and strengthened his ability to lead under pressure. And it doesn't take hours. Even 10-15 minutes of stretching, walking, or light exercise is enough to wake your system and set the tone for the day. But mornings aren't only about physical strength. They're about mental input as well. What you feed your mind when you first wake sets the stage for your thinking all day long. Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft, dedicates time each morning to reading books, research, and articles. For him, learning isn't a task, it's an advantage. He knows that fresh ideas and perspectives fuel innovation. If one of the busiest men on the planet can carve out time to read, so can you. And beyond reading, many top performers practice stillness, silence, meditation, or journaling. Gandhi, who carried the weight of leading a movement, started his days grounding himself in peace. He believed that if he didn't align internally first, he couldn't lead others with clarity or compassion. That same truth applies today. When you begin your morning by centering yourself, you carry calm and focus into everything that follows. Visualization is another powerful tool. Seeing your goals before they exist in reality plants them in your subconscious. Arnold Schwarzenegger practiced visualization long before he became a global icon. He pictured himself winning titles, acting in movies, stepping into positions of influence, until his mind believed it as fact. That practice shaped his confidence and kept him moving with purpose, even when success seemed far away. But here's the key. Your morning routine doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't need to mirror Benjamin Franklin, Obama, or Gates. The goal isn't to copy, it's to create. A great morning routine is simple. Wake with purpose, move your body, feed your mind, center yourself, and set clear priorities. That's it. Start small. Pick one or two habits that resonate with you and stick with them. Over time, your routine will grow, and so will you. Because success isn't built in one big breakthrough. It's shaped quietly in the repeated actions you take every morning. Tomorrow, instead of stumbling into your day without direction, pause. Begin with intention. Build a routine that fuels your mind, body, and spirit. Then watch how your life begins to shift. Not overnight, but steadily, powerfully, one morning at a time. Waking up early sounds heroic in theory, but the real battle isn't fought in the morning. It's won the night before. Too many people sabotage themselves by staying up too late, glued to screens, scrolling endlessly, or binge watching shows. Then they expect to rise at dawn with energy. It doesn't work like that. If you want to wake early, you have to respect your nights. Think about it. When you set a consistent bedtime, dim the lights, and step away from your phone, you're training your body to prepare for rest. That preparation makes rising early sustainable. Without it, mornings will always feel like punishment. Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, is a prime example. He wakes at 3:45 IMing daily, but his ability to sustain that schedule doesn't come from superhuman willpower. It comes from protecting his evenings and treating sleep as non-negotiable. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's fuel for clarity, focus, and productivity. Another hurdle is sleep inertia. That heavy, sluggish fog when you first wake. Most people mistake it for, I need more sleep. But even disciplined early risers feel it. The difference is that they don't let it linger. They use action to break it. The moment your alarm rings, sit up. Put your feet on the ground. Take a deep breath. Drink a glass of cold water. Stretch or take a quick shower. These small steps send a powerful message to your brain. We're awake now. Momentum takes over and resistance fades. Momentum. Resistance. A simple hack can make all the difference. Move your alarm across the room. If it's right beside your bed, you'll snooze it on autopilot. But if you have to physically stand up to turn it off, you've already won the first victory of the day. That first step is often all you need to push past excuses. But here's something deeper. Many people fail because they don't have a reason to wake up. If your morning is only about obligations, work, commute, responsibilities, your brain won't feel motivated to leave the comfort of bed. That's why it's crucial to build mornings you actually look forward to. Richard Branson, founder of Virgin Group, wakes up at 5 a.m., not to dive into business emails, but to do what energizes him: exercise, family time, and personal ritual. He begins with what fills him, so the rest of the day flows with energy. This is the secret. Don't just wake up for duties. Wake up for yourself. Put something in your morning that excites you. A book you've wanted to read, a journal for your ideas, a personal project, or even a quiet moment with coffee. When your mornings include something meaningful, waking up stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like privilege. Still, most people give up too quickly. They try for 3 or 4 days, struggle with it, and declare, I'm not built for this. But every meaningful habit requires patience. Becoming an early riser is no different. Discipline is built slowly through repeated victories, one morning at a time. Every time you rise when you don't want to, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than excuses. Over time, mornings stop being a burden, they become a gift. That's the shift. From dragging yourself out of bed to claiming the morning as your advantage. Once you reach that point, waking early is no longer about obligation, it's about empowerment. Most people fail at becoming early risers because they try to transform overnight. They force themselves to jump from 8 a.m. to 5 a.m. instantly, and when it feels unbearable, they quit. But like any lasting habit, waking early must be built gradually. Start small. Wake 15-30 minutes earlier each week. These shifts feel almost effortless, yet they accumulate into massive change. Give your body time to adapt. Give your mind time to settle into the rhythm. Soon, early rising won't feel like a fight. It will feel natural. But here's the real game changer: accountability. If you struggle with self-discipline, don't try to fight alone. Create systems that keep you honest. Tell a friend or family member about your goal. Set up a morning check-in where you send proof that you're awake. Use habit tracking apps or even a simple calendar to record your progress. The more accountability you build, the harder it becomes to quit, especially on the days when motivation is low. Accountability pushes you when willpower fails. Remember, waking up early is about more than just gaining time. It's about gaining control. Each morning you rise, you prove that you are in charge of your actions, your habits, and your destiny. The battle isn't with the alarm clock. It's with the excuses that try to hold you back. And those excuses are defeated long before morning ever comes. They're defeated by your evening choices. When you decide to turn off the screen, when you choose rest over distraction, when you commit to tomorrow by preparing today. Ask yourself honestly, are you truly not a morning person, or have you simply never trained yourself to become one? Are your obstacles real, or are they excuses you've repeated so often that you've started to believe them? The truth is liberating. You can change. You can rise early, take control of your mornings, and start living with direction instead of reaction. Every morning you get up, when your mind begs you to stay down, you build something inside yourself: momentum, confidence, discipline. That momentum compounds. It builds day after day, week after week, until it reshapes who you are. The small choice to rise becomes a foundation of larger victories. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings, remember this: you're not just choosing between sleep and wakefulness. You're choosing between comfort and growth, between staying the same and becoming more. Rise, and you'll feel it, at first as a small win, then as a ripple of momentum, and finally as a wave that transforms your entire life. The smallest decisions you make in the morning shape the flow of your entire day and eventually the course of your life. That's the ripple effect. One intentional act creates momentum, and momentum compounds into progress. One careless choice, on the other hand, leads to delay, distraction, and stress. Think about it. Something as simple as making your bed might seem meaningless, but Admiral William H. McRaven, in his famous speech, explained why it matters. If you want to change the world, start by making your bed. That one task, completed first thing in the morning, sparks a chain reaction of accomplishment. You start your day with order and discipline, and that tone echoes into everything else you do. It's not about the bed. It's about the standard you set for yourself. The same applies to movement. If your body begins the day stagnant, your mind will mirror that. But if you energize your body with stretching, walking, or a quick workout, you ignite your focus and discipline. Physical activity is fuel for mental clarity. Haruki Murakami, one of the most celebrated authors of our time, runs every morning. For him, running isn't just exercise. It's how he clears his mind, sharpens his creativity, and steps into flow. His novels, his ideas, his discipline, they're all shaped by that morning ritual. Physical action isn't enough on its own. What you feed your mind first thing in the morning also defines your trajectory. Start your day with negativity, scrolling through bad news, complaints, or meaningless noise, and you're priming your brain for stress. But begin with gratitude, reflection, journaling, or even 10 minutes of uplifting reading, and you're programming your mind for clarity, focus, and growth. That mental input becomes the lens through which you see your challenges, opportunities, and relationships. This is why high achievers guard their morning so carefully. They know it's not just about time, it's about trajectory. A clear, intentional morning sets you up to lead the day instead of chase it. The launch pad determines the flight. A sloppy launch, and you drift. A strong, focused launch, and you soar. So ask yourself, What's the very first ripple you want to create each day? Is it distraction or discipline? Delay or momentum? That first choice is never small. It sets the chain reaction that follows you into every meeting, every conversation, every decision. Your morning is the anchor. Secure it with small victories, movement, order, clarity, and you'll carry that strength everywhere you go. Success isn't built in big leaps. It's built in these quiet ripples, repeated morning after morning until they become waves that shape the life you've always wanted. And your journey is like, your morning is like a drink. Your morning is like a drink. Your morning is like a drink. And if you